And here we go, ladies and gentlemen, main event time from Indio, California. 12 rounds of boxing this in the welterweight division. First to make his way to the ring, fighting out of the blue corner. From Lafayette, Louisiana, here is Ortiz Solomon.
.36 years old, 28-1, 9 knockouts. He's never been stopped. His only loss came back in 2016, a very close split decision to undefeated Russian Konstantin Ponavarev back in Las Vegas. He believes he's got the skills to not only frustrate Ortiz Jr., but to win this thing. Sergio, do you believe it?
Very confident. He had an excellent sparring with a fighter I know well, and Eric Walker, who was on the latest season of The Contender. I mean, everything went well for Solomon. Now it's time to shine. I mean, he's been inactive. He sparred some of the best fighters.
He's got amateur victories over Demetrius Andrade. You saw that, Jesse Vargas.
Jesse Vargas as well. So, look, he can play the spoiler. Like I said, he has the talent, he has the ability. He's cagey, but he wants to take the power puncher into the later rounds if he's going to win this fight.
And now ready to make his ring walk, fighting out of the red corner. The pride of Grand Prairie, Texas. Here is the undefeated Virgil Ortiz Jr.
Only 21 years old, Virgil Ortiz Jr. 14 wins, 14 knockouts. But what will he do when he can't win a fight on power alone? We may find out tonight. If you name all the great prospects in boxing today, Shakur Stevenson, Teofimo Lopez, Ryan Garcia, this guy's mentioned in the same breath as all of them.
I mean, he's exciting to watch. I mean, not only because of his vicious power punching ability, but his intelligence. And I love talking to this young man. I mean, his character is everything. He was just brought up well by his father. I mean, Virgil Ortiz Sr. did an excellent job. Robert Garcia has taken the mantle to him, you know, polishing him to be great. He's being groomed for greatness.
And he loves fighting here at Fantasy Springs. 4 times, 4 knockouts.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, live around the world on DAZN from beautiful Fantasy Springs Resort Casino here in Indio, California. It is time for the main event of the evening. 12 rounds of boxing this schedule for the WBA Gold Welterweight Championship. Brought to you by Oscar De La Hoya's Golden Boy Promotions and sponsored by Tecate, the official beer of boxing, and Hennessy, never stop, never settle. Sanctioned by the California State Athletic Commission, the Executive Officer, Andy Foster, with Chairman John Carvelli, and WBA Supervisor in attendance, Kina Malpartida. The 3 judges scoring this bout at ringside, Max DeLuca, Pat Russell, and Zach Young. And when the action begins inside the ring, your referee in charge, Raul Caiz Sr. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the judges are ready and the fighters are ready. Indio, California, make some noise if you are ready! Introducing you first, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing the colors of our nation, red, white, and blue. He weighed in officially 146 3/4 pounds. In 29 professional bouts, he holds an outstanding record, standing at 28 victories, 1 defeat, 9 wins, coming by way of knockout, hailing from and fighting out of Lafayette, Louisiana. Here is the challenger, Solomon! And across the ring stands his opponent, fighting out of the red corner. Wearing gold trunks trimmed in black, he weighed in officially 147 pounds. This rising welterweight star holds a professional record standing perfect at 14 victories, no defeats, all 14 wins coming by way of knockout. The fighting pride of Grand Prairie, Texas, the reigning, defending, undefeated WBA gold welterweight champion, Virgil Ortiz Jr.
Virgil, back. All right, gentlemen, I give you instructions downstairs. Remember, obey my commands at all times. Shake hands and good luck to both of you.
Will the train keep rolling for Ortiz Jr., or can Brad Solomon reinvigorate his career and perhaps get into title contention himself?
Just put your trucks on so you look nice and handsome. Listo. Ready? Protector, right?
Ortiz Jr. in the gold, Solomon in the red, white, and blue. Round one, scheduled for 12, Indio, California. Ortiz Jr. with hellacious power in both hands. We've seen it plenty of times. His last two wins have come against veterans who had never been stopped before.
Now, Ortiz has dynamite in both hands. It can come at any time, too. He's always in position to punch. He doesn't waste any punches.
Let's see how tentative Solomon is. Almost a minute in, hasn't thrown a punch. There's a jab. Solomon currently living in Douglasville, Georgia. Grew up in Lafayette, Louisiana. How long in the ring does it take you to feel how strong your opponent is?
Oh, right away. He probably felt it already with even the body shots that he blocked, like those right there. But Solomon doing the right thing, not standing in front of Virgil too long, so he's shifty. In describing Solomon, he's shifty, switches stance. It's hard to pin him down, and he carries his hands low. You know, he's not the biggest puncher, but he relies on speed, not power.
Solomon said he's going to frustrate him, going to fight smart, but if he comes right at me and starts swinging away, I'll brawl with him. Easier said than done. Jose Ramirez in the corner of Virgil Ortiz Jr. They are sparring partners and extremely close friends. Ortiz Jr. says Ramirez is the hardest worker I've ever seen, and Ramirez says Ortiz is the hardest worker I've ever seen.
I mean, if you're going to train with greatness, that's who you want to train. You know, a two-time unified champion in Ramirez and an up-and-comer, you know, top French contender like Virgil Ortiz, where the sky's the limit, man. This kid has everything going for him. Like Robert Garcia was saying in the interview, you know, this kid loves boxing.
You see many similarities between Ortiz and Ramirez's styles?
Yeah, a little bit, maybe in the technique, but they have different type of aggression. Ortiz he puts a little bit more behind the punches. You know, Ramirez puts them in combinations, but both of them relentless.
Jabs to the body for Ortiz Jr.
And that's what you got to do with a fighter that has good upper body movement. Jab to the chest, jab to the stomach.
I can see it. Don't follow. Take your time. Nice and relax.
Second round, let's go, guys.
Round 2, scheduled for 12 championship rounds. Ortiz Jr. was hoping to get some rounds in tonight. But at the same time, when you're a knockout artist like he is, when you see the opening, you've got to take it.
Yeah, it's going to be tricky to pin down Solomon. The first round, even though he probably didn't win, I mean, he did some good things in that round. He didn't let Ortiz set his punches, his power. He stayed off the ropes, and he ended the round with some good combinations, just like he did right there. See, with a fighter like Ortiz Jr., you're not going to hit him with anything clean. You got to hit the gloves.
Well, you saw a body shot with the right hand from Solomon, who usually has a busy jab, but so far he's been reacting. Nice right hand by Ortiz Jr.
I want to see how Solomon reacts when he gets hit with something clean by the power punching Ortiz. One thing is being able to box and be cagey and cute in there, but being able to take a shot, that's what separates the boys from the men. Contenders from champions.
Which is also your favorite musical group. Boys to Men.
Get those cameras back, people. Get those cameras back.
Solomon has had a troubled career promotionally. He's fought just 3 times since 2015. He's very grateful to get this opportunity and bound to make the most of it as Ortiz has him pinned in the corner.
Now, inactivity and age. Solomon is 36 years old, and inactivity. I mean, those are two, that's a recipe for disaster for a fighter, a boxer that relies on timing and distance. The left hook there in the inside by Ortiz.
Showed you some of those names that Solomon beat in the amateurs. He was a 3-time national Golden Gloves champion. He won his first Golden Gloves title after just 7 official amateur bouts. At the time, that was a record.
Solomon coming off a split decision win with Paddy Gallagher, but you know, he probably squeaked by that decision. And when he fought Adrian Granados, that was a split decision as well, where a lot of people felt Granados pulled off that win. So even in Solomon's best wins, there was still controversy or not great wins, actually. And Granados always gives a tough fight to everybody.
Swing and a miss, a big swing and a miss by the King, Solomon.
Respect the belt, gentlemen. Respect the belt.
There's Joe Ortiz, the brother of Virgil. Let's watch some of his brother's handiwork.
It's been hard to pin down Solomon because he's been moving and utilizing the ring really nicely, keeping his distance. But this is what you got to do. You know, you got to touch the gloves, touch the shoulders, and aim for the body. That's what Ortiz is going to have to do with a shifty fighter that switches stance and it's hard to pin down. Just aim for the body. The body's not going to move. Aim for the waist.
Mouthpiece is in, seconds out. Let's go, 3rd round.
Let's see if Solomon puts up more of an offensive challenge for Ortiz so far. First 2 rounds, he's trying to just been moving around, trying to avoid disaster.
See, right there how he started this round. That's how he needs to fight a fighter like Ortiz. He needs to punch at the gloves. It's going to be hard to land clean shots against Ortiz Jr. because he has good technique and he keeps his hands up. But you got to just get points. Punch the gloves.
Well, generally speaking, it's usually easier to hit a puncher like Ortiz Jr. when he has so many knockouts. He's obviously sitting down on his punches and letting them fly, which leaves you open for a counter, does it not?
Yeah, it does, but it's also, I mean, he's a power puncher, so it's just going to take one punch to get clipped by that. Love that angle by Ortiz right there. anytime you get a power puncher, you know, getting in angles like that, it reminds you of like Mike Tyson. You know, Mike Tyson, he had great upper body movement. I mean, he had vicious power, but he had great upper body movement, and he used feints. He got angles. He switched southpaw. I mean, he wasn't just like a brutal puncher. He was a smart brutal puncher, Tyson was.
At least early in his career, that head movement slowed down drastically as he got into his 30s.
That's what happens with everybody, not only punchers. Solomon is in his mid-30s, and he's looking pretty good right now, bouncing on his toes. We'll see if he can carry this to the middle of the rounds.
So from what you've seen so far, how much of a test do you think Solomon is going to be for Ortiz Jr. tonight?
Well, we touched on this in the beginning of the talk.
Oh, that right hand landed.
Solomon, you know, he has one of those styles that can throw a wrench into the party parade of Ortiz. You know, Ortiz has knocked out everyone they put in front of him. But a fighter like Brad Solomon, who's never been knocked down, and it's hard to pin down, you know, it's going to say a lot if Ortiz can stop a fighter like this. But right now, Solomon's boxing nicely. I like what I'm seeing with Solomon. He's touching Ortiz, not giving him a chance to plant his feet, punching at the hands, at the gloves. Getting a nice little fluid rhythm to him, his upper body movement. See? You know, he's moving, he's on his toes. Solomon is. For a fighter that's been as inactive as Solomon, he's only fought 5 times in 5 years. You know, coming off a 19-month layoff, you know, he's boxing pretty nicely in there early. He doesn't want to do that with Ortiz. Exchange left hooks.
No, I don't think anybody does.
Never want to hook with a hooker, Todd Grisham.
Never have.
Body shot right there. It was a left uppercut. Ortiz trying to cut him in the middle just to land that right hook. But Solomon came back with punches of his own. This was a good round for Solomon.
Yeah, much more active for Brad Solomon. Daniel Jacobs stepping up to super middleweight to take on Chavez Jr. in Phoenix, Arizona, live on DAZN, December 20th. That's a Friday night.
Here we're going to see Ortiz land a right hand, but it started with that jab to the body, and that's what you got to do. You got to stop the mover by jabbing to the body, just that land, that right hook upstairs. And there's that power jab. Once you have the boxer that's moving around confused, he doesn't know if you're going to jab to the body, the torso, the chest, or the chin.
Solomon learned how to box when he was incarcerated at the age of 17, was sentenced to 8 years, but after good behavior, his sentence was reduced as he joined the prison boxing team, and he fought there from 17 to 22.
Yeah, him and another fighter that I got to know well on the 5th season of The Contender, Eric Walker. Both them fighters, excellent boxer punchers, especially Walker. They just made a friendship, a brotherhood through boxing.
Left hook right on the temple from Ortiz Jr.
Good right uppercut right there. Counter right uppercut by Solomon.
Let's look at the work rate. 11 landed punches for Solomon. 72 thrown. Ortiz Jr. basically double the output of his opponent.
Yeah, don't expect Solomon to keep up with the punches of Ortiz. He's just looking to land the cleaner shots and not let Ortiz set up that power.
Left hand to the body for Ortiz Jr. And there's the jab. And he moved Ortiz around a little bit.
It's that power jab to the belly that's opening up the shot for Ortiz now. Underrated punch right there, to that power jab downstairs right there. That's how you pin down a mover, Todd. You jab him to the body. That's how you stop him. It's hard to pin down the upper body movement and the head shots, but the body's not going to move.
I'll tell you what, Solomon has taken some big power punches to the head and has handled them fairly well. At least that's how it looks outwardly. Who knows what he's feeling on the inside? Boxers have to be great actors, do they not?
No, absolutely, but he's rolling with those shots too, so he's not landing cleanly up to the top. Ortiz is. Solomon's rolling with those punches and keeping his hands up nicely. He hasn't been.
Whoa, he didn't roll well with that one. That was a power jab that sent Solomon down for the first time in his career.
That was a shotgun jab right there by Ortiz, and that's what he's been landing hard with right now. That's a power jab being landed there, a la Kovalev.
Actually, the second time in his career, but he's never been stopped. Let's see if Ortiz Jr. can finish the job here in round 4. Was that below the belt? The referee said no, but I think Ortiz Jr. felt that it was. Gave him a reprieve. Solomon, sorry, trying to fight his way back into this. It's fight or flight time for the 36-year-old.
That's exactly what I was going to say, Todd. He's the only way he's going to keep a fighter like Ortiz out there. He needs to fight. He needs to get respect. He has to throw caution to the wind and punch away, because you can't keep running away from a fighter like Ortiz.
So Ortiz Jr. scoring the first knockdown of the fight. And Solomon's wife, there she is, Catherine Solomon, obviously very concerned about what's taking place right now.
Here we're going to see two different looks of the knockdown. It was a power jab, a shotgun jab by Virgil Ortiz. Solomon smiling, but here's another look. And that was the best punch in that round. He was landing him to the chest and to the belly. And here we're going to see a borderline low blow that we're going to see in slow motion if it was low or borderline. And that's borderline to me, Todd.
Steve Smoger, our referee, what do you think?
Absolutely not a low blow. Right on the belt line. Perfect shot.
So nice job by our referee to continue. And Ortiz Jr., being the sportsman he is, didn't pounce on Solomon.
I noticed that too. I mean, that just shows the character of the young man. I mean, he could have easily jumped on him like that. That's what you're supposed to do. That's what we're taught to do. You know, if your opponent turns his back or doesn't look like he wants to fight, it's protect yourself at all times. But Ortiz doing the classy thing, not going after him.
And it certainly doesn't look like this could happen, but you never know if Ortiz Jr. could regret not pouncing on that moment. Solomon's legs don't look right.
Those are heavy shots by Ortiz right there. Just punching with bad intentions, not falling off balance, chopping him in half and coming over the top. He's looking for overhand right, Ortiz is. He wants to come in that overhand right angle to land it on top of Solomon's head.
Solomon's movement has slowed down considerably. The last thing he wants to do is stand and trade with this 21-year-old. Solomon has gotten off the canvas once in his career to come back and win. It was in a first-round knockdown rather. And it came in his last fight. Oh, another heavy-handed shot from Ortiz. There's that patented right hand, and Solomon's in trouble. He might go down again. He does, taking a knee here in round 5.
It was that power jab that sliced the guard of Solomon to land that right hand.
Turn around, son. Hey, you okay? Walk to me, walk to me.
It's the look of resignation on the face of Solomon. I think he knows what's coming.
Expect body shots and uppercuts by Ortiz here.
Solomon's got to show the referee something. He takes a knee again. That's the third knockdown. They'll wave it off. And one of boxing's hottest prospects keeps the fire burning.
15 wins, 15 knockouts by Virgil Ortiz Jr. Devastating performance once again.
He's perfect at Fantasy Springs. He's perfect in his career. Not much of a challenge at all here. We've heard him call out big names. He's mentioned Danny Garcia. He's mentioned Keith Thurman. Is he ready for those big guns in this division?
This was a big step up for Brad Solomon. He's never faced the fighter of the caliber of Virgil Ortiz Jr. But it was just really, really impressive the way that Ortiz systematically broke down a crafty boxer, a boxer puncher like Solomon. And it was by chopping him in half with jabs to the stomach, the belly, the power jabs that dropped him, and relentlessly stayed on King Solomon.
It'll certainly be a Merry Christmas in the Virgil Ortiz Jr. household. He thought he might face a challenge tonight, might have to figure this guy out, but really, it looked over from the first round, didn't it?
Yeah, it did.
3 knockdowns for Ortiz Jr. Let's show you the first one here.
It was that right hand that started the action, the onslaught there by Ortiz Jr. But Ortiz didn't forget about the body. Going upstairs, going around the guard of Solomon. And there's that angle right there, Todd, that I mentioned. Kind of like Mike Tyson will get angles and turn southpaw sometimes. Ortiz did just that.
That was the third and final knockdown. Credit to Solomon for getting up twice, but it was all she wrote, the beginning of the end, as the 21-year-old gets his 15th KO. Sergio, I know you didn't hear me earlier, but we've heard Ortiz Jr. mention the names like Danny Garcia and Keith Thurman. Is he ready for those guys?
I believe so.
Really?
Absolutely. I would love to see a fight with him and Danny Garcia. Either one, actually, with Keith Thurman as well. Because Keith Thurman, you know, he has that one-punch power, but so does Ortiz. He'll be an power punching, high IQ style of fighter.
He's only 21.
Doesn't matter. Devin Haney is world champion. I mean, that's a young, gifted, talented fighter as well. And when you think of fighters that you know, when we're calling Devin Haney's fight coming up, you know, we knew he was the goods. We knew he was a future champion, and now he is champion. Same thing could be said with Virgil Ortiz Jr.
Back into the ring now, and Joe Martinez.
Ladies and gentlemen, the end comes officially. 2 minutes, 22 seconds, round number 5. Your winner by KO, and still the undefeated WBA Gold Welterweight Champion, Virgil Ortiz Jr.
What did we learn tonight about Virgil Ortiz Jr.?
Well, we keep learning every time we watch him. We keep getting impressed. It's the fact that he was able to break down a crafty fighter like Solomon. And by the way, this is a third opponent that Ortiz has knocked out that have never been knocked out. I mean, that's always impressive. He knocked out Antonio Orozco, Mauricio Herrera, and now he knocked out Brad Solomon. 3 back-to-back. That's a trifecta of power right there, Todd.
Claudia Trejos is with our winner.
Thank you, Todd. Congratulations. Spectacular win. Give us a breakdown. How did you break Brad Solomon down?
You know, I got to give him some credit. He was pretty difficult to figure out. He kept me at bay. He really made me use my brain. But you know, I just took my time in there and didn't try not to rush things.
We did talk about his range and how he actually kept you out of the pocket. What exactly helped you get in there to go for those power punches into the body?
I think I had to utilize my jab, but most importantly, I had to figure out the range. You know, because you be leaning forward. Leaning back or whatever, he can try to catch me with the counter. So I just had to use my smarts and arranging, you know, figure out when was the right time to throw a punch so I wouldn't miss. And other than that, yeah.
Let's talk about that first knockdown. It was straight jab. Walk me through it. This is the action. Right there.
I'm not gonna lie. I think I tripped him with my foot right there. I'm gonna give him benefit of that. I don't think he was hurt right there. If they play it again, you can see my left foot hit his left foot. But I mean, you know, it is what it is. It happens. That he still came to fight, and yeah.
So let's move on to the 5th round. Here comes the first knockdown. What were you thinking that time?
Right there, I was thinking I shouldn't really be chasing him on the ropes like that, but I think he just, maybe he let his guard down, thinking I wasn't going to chase after him, and I mean, luckily I did, and I threw the right punch, and it hurt him.
And then comes the second knockdown in the stoppage. How surprised were you that he didn't come up? He had never been knocked down and knocked out.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I really don't know. I can't even answer that question. There's so many things going through my mind right now. I knew he was to be a tough cookie to break, and I mean, but luckily I have a good team behind me. All my smarts, and yeah.
There was a point where Robert Garcia was telling you, slowly but surely, you're going to break him down. Take your time, be patient. How impatient did you get into that 5th round?
I mean, I feel like I was very patient. I knew that I had to pick it up somehow. I can't just lay low, but I mean, I felt like I did a good job.
At this point in time, I need to know, how would you rate your performance?
I would say high B, A on this one.
High B, an A. How do you like them apples? Todd, back to you. Congratulations.
Thanks so much.
Business as usual for Virgil Ortiz Jr. Sergio, this was a fight, on paper at least, he was always going to win. How soon do you want to see him face a real competitor?
This was a real competitor. Orozco was a real competitor. Mauricio Herrera was a real competitor. This kid's doing exactly what, he's beating the people they put in front of him. That's exactly, I mean, that's showing class, that's showing character, and still humble in victory.
Well, in your opinion, who should they put in front of him next?
I'm not a matchmaker, Todd, but I love calling his fights. This kid is bright, he's a prospect, he's a power puncher. Everyone loves the power puncher, and it's the way that he's doing it. In the first half of the fight, I thought that Solomon was going to do something that no one else has done and go past the 6th round. That wasn't the case.
Virgil Ortiz Jr., 15-0, 15 KOs. Here is our CompuBox final punch stats. 24 landed punches. That's all Virgil Ortiz Jr. suffered. He didn't suffer at all. He came out clean as a whistle, not cut, not bruised. He could fight again tomorrow night if he wanted to. And look at the jab differential.
And that's exactly what opened up Solomon. It was the body, it was the jab to the body, and then the power shots upstairs.
As for power shots, obviously tilting heavily towards Ortiz. 58 landed power punches at a 38% clip. You heard Claudia ask what grade Virgil Ortiz would give himself. What's your grade?
How can you not give him an A for that performance? I mean, look, he's humble. He's showing humility. That's a sign of character by Ortiz Jr. But character is what it takes to be a champion. I mean, this is an impressive performance from an impressive young man. He has everything going from him. When knockouts like that, he's going to continue steamrolling, gaining fans, and it's going to be a matter of time for him to prove that he's the good and a world champion.
So many great young guns in the game right now. Obviously, Devin Haney, who just suffered a shoulder injury, had to have surgery. Teofimo Lopez fighting this weekend. Ryan Garcia, and obviously Ortiz Jr. How do you rate him